Hey, I would like to do a career focused reading simply because I'm really just. If you've seen the other videos regarding this relationship stuff that's been going on across two soul groups, it's getting a little tiring. So, this is for your career, your job, your business, and how you make money. Okay. Alright, whatever. Do-do-do. You know, when you have this ability to create something in your mind, but you hold it back, and you think that if you shared this idea or if you did this certain thing, this creative something that you've known about for a long time, that it would change your life completely. But in order to do it, you have to give some energy to the situation first. Then the situation opens up and you can get what you want out of it. But you don't go into it just, trying to get what you want immediately. No, you have to give energy to get energy. So you want money, and maybe even something here's an idea for you. What was it your grandfather or your great grandfather was, not your dad, but your grandparent of some sort, or a great uncle, someone who was really good with working with their hands and making things that had quality, like making quality furniture. Maybe he was a carpenter or a winemaker, or someone who dealt with, I don't know, cars, horses, or a farmer. If you can follow in your grandfather or elder in your lineage, legacy, and bring what they did to make their life comfortable into the present. So look at this in a energy way. Long-standing legacy, already established, something that's been in your genetic tree for so many generations. This could be the father to this could be the granddaughter, the grandfather, the great grandfather, like the mom or someone on, an aunt on the side. It's a long standing thing that's going on in your family that is very basic, that you do, and you don't even realize you could make money out of this. If you can get a little what's the word in English? If you could stop being so lax about your career and actually put some real hard energy into it, really put your effort into something, like you want this, you're going to go and get this, and no matter what you do, you're going to succeed in your ability to establish a legacy for your great grandchildren. But first, you have to connect it with your ancestors, so your great grandfather, your great great grandfather, someone who did something to benefit the family. Maybe you should expand on that. So what if, like, this person is Einstein's great granddaughter, and she's now doing something to make mathematics easier for everybody in school? I don't know, maybe there's a different way other than the ridiculous way they're doing math now. Sorry, but it's ridiculous. But you're afraid to move forward with this thing because you don't, like, maybe it's even how you make breakfast. Like, you invent a new way because you do something weird with your, eggs in the morning or your cereal. But sharing that with the world and being really brave and blunt about what it is that makes your family stable, sharing it with the world shows you how much you've been on guard with your own career and your capacity. You've been keeping yourself back and then jumping forward in quick bursts that are usually fueled by anger and the deadline, to where then you dig into your creative ability to get it done, even though you just got in at the last minute. Like, you can do better than that. You don't need to procrastinate so long that then it makes you mad and then you rush towards something. You finish the project right at the last minute because you wasted all that time doing nothing but thinking. Or just completely wasting your time doing nothing but lounging on the couch watching TV. Like, if you're going to do that, at least pick a journal and leave it with you and write down your thoughts. Because sometimes you get some really good thoughts that could make you a lot of money. Okay, that's enough. Bottom of the deck is the Chariot. Leave that there. I need him to set up. Time to manifest things. I don't want. Oh, 9 of Cups. Okay, that was their first. 3 of Wands, 9 of Cups. Okay. This idea that you'll come up with yourself, but first you have to light the fire under you to get yourself moving. You can't be lazy. Something in your family that you've been doing without even knowing you can make money out of it. So really go through your entire day with a fine-tooth comb and just look through your habits. What is it that other people can benefit from? Share it with the world. Put your defenses down about what they will think of you, because this idea, this thing you create that starts with a mental realm. So maybe it's a way to calm down anxiety or panic. Maybe there's a tincture or something your great grandmother used to make that completely helped you and soothed your stomach when you were feeling ill. And you share that because somebody really needs to hear about how to make it. And you get a whole big payout from the universe itself, giving you a breakthrough idea to do something else to help you build another foundation, which helps you grant your own wishes. But first, you have to look at your legacy. Where you came from will get you to where you're going. It's almost like the past helps you return to the past in a good way, or to bring the best of the past forward. You see how this guy is almost like this guy older, and then the young girl is wearing his old dress, like his old robe. You see how it's a time loop? You had this idea, you were ready to move forward with it. You got afraid, held back, and got defensive because you were afraid of what people might think of you, or you might, you feared physical harm because of this. So maybe it's like, you created some massive energy device and you're like, I can't share this with the world. But the moment you share something with the world that you know deep in your heart that you knew when you were younger, because your parental father figure or matriarchal mother figure did this all the time. Whatever it was, it kept you healthy, it kept you happy, and it helped you build a home. Maybe it really could have been just making furniture or, crystals or collecting stamps. It's different for all of you. You know yourself. The sense of being afraid is very prominent here. And not in a fear way, in a anxiety way. Like, you attempted to do this before, actually. This method of making money. And it's not a low vibrational method, by the way. It's not like anything, you'd see in a movie. This is different. This is basic quality of life kind of thing. And if you trust that if you do it now or this time, maybe within the next 3 weeks, so like within 3 weeks, the idea emerges from the water to grant you everything you want. But the first now the next 4 days of the next 4 weeks, you're being asked to put down your guard and work with someone who really doesn't go at your pace. They go much quicker than you. They're very single-minded. They're very like one spectrum. So if you describe this person that you're involved with in your career in regards to color, this person's color would be very faded, like a like steel, like a moonlit sliver of moonlight, but harsh steel. Very graceful in what they do. It's like the edge of a blade, honestly. Do you know how in some movies they make that sound where the blade makes that weird, sharp, echoey sound that resonates through the blade from the bottom to the top? An eagle or a hawk kind of makes the same screech if they elongate it. To me, it sounds the same way. I mean, what does silver taste like? The color silver taste like? You know, like this shimmer right here. This person is of that frequency. They're not compassionate. They're not gentle. They're not grounded in any way. When they touch their ground, they're running. They're just moving forward. They're not moving slowly. They're not thinking or calculating. They're not, passionate about it. They get it done. But they're doing it in an exact high vibration way where if you work with this person, you get peace of mind, peace of family, like your life brought together, the colors of the spectrum all in harmony. What is that Red, Green, and Gold Karma Chameleon song? I think it's by Boy George. Karma Chameleon, your colors are red, green, and gold. There is colors right there. This job thing that's in your karmic vortex, your Abrahamic vortex of everything you've ever wanted and things that are still coming to you for you, you're the one holding them back. And you're holding them back because in order for you to move forward, you have to use a different energy to move. You can't move as the deliberate one that planned everything. You can't move as the one that is on guard, like a shield maiden, walking forward with her shield and her spear over and over, one step at a time. That's not going to get you anywhere. You can't be wandering from tree to tree trying to get a better view of what other job could be out there. No, like you already know. And in order to do it, you just do it. The universe will put everything else in place for you. First, you just do it. You make the first step and the universe brings the other steps. It has to be this thing is honor filled. This sword isn't given to people that would harm each other. So this thing you're doing with jobs, with your career to bring some new money in or better money that involves the collective, it absolutely involves you to be at your highest vibration and be a king or queen within your own body. To put down your guard and to put your energy into your work. Even if you don't know how to write, if you don't know how to make a painting or to bake a cake, get up, go to the kitchen, open the pack of flour, look something up on YouTube on how to make a basic cake. Educate yourself. Learn in the physical world the matter you're holding on to and the treasures it holds for you. Because there's wisdom to be shared, and the wisdom you share will bring you your abundance. Maybe your job isn't even to make something. Maybe it's to help people see what they already have in a different way. Because they've been so focused on one energy, you come in with a completely new, almost seeming chaotic energy to them. and they don't know what to do with it. So they hold back. But in doing so, everybody learns of a new way to do things. And it brings you not only abundance, but love, health, wealth, a puppy, a pony. I mean, you can have dire wolves if you're this person. You can have whatever you want. Go get a pet dragon. Call it Bob. I don't know. So I would advise that you don't enact any kind of a career move with someone that encourages you to be on guard. If the people you're involved with are negatively talking about other people, then the energy coming to them is of people talking negatively about them, which then puts you into the middle state of who is talking negatively about you, who becomes your enemy and who becomes your ally, and then it becomes a competitive work position situation. You take the 3 from the 9, you have the 6, which means you just got over a struggle and you succeeded and you got recognition. You add the 3 to the 9, you have 12, which is a master builder number. So you're taking the problems and everything else, overburdening yourself just to get it done because you know the end result is magnificent for you. And it all involves your legacy, your family. How was it that your grandma made eggs for you in the morning? Maybe you could make a cooking YouTube channel. How was it that maybe your grandpa, like my grandpa, would take me for walks in the forest and we would teach me all about the plants and berries. I learned so much from him. Maybe if this reading was applicable to me, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to take you on forest walks now. Maybe I'll do that actually. But for you, maybe it involves animals. Maybe your grandfather had a completely unique way on how to deal or train with dogs, especially in their puppy phase. Maybe you know this trick that gets puppies to never piddle on the rug, and it's just some like spot on their body that like needs to be touched like a button, and then you do this acupuncture thing or something. Who knows? I mean, think really back deep in the entire structure of your body, the meridians, the way you got healthy. Because in order to have a career that brings you a legacy, the legacy has to be involved in it first. So where you came from and how you stayed alive long enough to have this legacy will be how you get everyone else to have the legacy. So you can sit at a table with 9 other soul groups and share a cup, or how many ever you want to put on that table, because it's your table. Don't hold your ideas and your gifts back. Share them. Don't be afraid of what people will say or think or do, because the moment you open this chest, which is your heart chakra, opening the chest, the light that is emitted will be undimmable by anything else ever. It's like the invention of toast. So if you want to look at it like a movie scene picture and whatever, the sword is coming out of the water, it's being protected and guided. This king knows all about how it's protected and guided, is utilizing it to build a foundation for the future, which will expand until the people now have great-grandchildren. Which means look back towards your great-grandfather if you want to affect the great-grandchildren. Get it? It's time. And time isn't linear. So if you want something which is beneficial to everybody, you align with it. And by aligning with something, you put down your guard. You open up your heart chakra, you communicate honestly and upfront and bluntly with compassion, nobility, valor, and chivalry. You already accept it as done, and you look on how to expand. You never stay where you've been, you keep moving forward. You have 1 pentacle, that's great. Now let me make enough room to have 1,000 pentacles. because your 10 of Pentacles isn't enough for me. I need more room. You have this option. You don't have to be confined by what people have done. You can take what people have done and make it 19 Pentacles. Get it? It's an innovative breakthrough of something that's been already done, and people are doing it to the point where it's just gotten ridiculous. Now it's time to upgrade it. And maybe you can be the first person to do something different. Because it's the age of Aquarius. Something moving quickly and changing. So holding on to something is pointless because it's changing anyway. So you can go with the flow, or hold on to, the treasure chest at the bottom of the ocean. The waters are still gonna, bring this truth out for this legacy to expand. This could be the next Walgreens. This could be the next Walmart, but an actual amazing, non-GMO, completely community-driven Walmart. Like how they had in Turkey. They had those bazaar blocks where it was like an entire city block, or whatever you would consider it in America. But it's stalls and stores and shops all under one roof. And everyone's, it's their own thing, their own rules, their own laws. It's all free and it's all safe. Well, there's pickpockets. So be careful of quick, handiwork. Make the work you do be quality, not quick. You don't want to do quantity, you want to do quality. You don't want to hold back on the expenses. You want to put all the money you can into it, because money is energy. So put the money into it. You can build an empire. An empire. 1-800. You sang it in your head. You know you did. Look, the Wheel of Fortune, bro. Come on. You can change the world. You can change the way. Yeah, I know it's scary, but it's fine. Get over it. You can change the world, and then the scary part will be that you could have not done what you were going to do. I mean, how amazing, right? To have the foresight to know that if you don't do this, then later you would look back and say, I should have done this. If I had done this, the world would have been so much better off. If the first person that never mentioned organic food never spoke up, can you imagine how guilty they would feel? You have the opportunity to change the world. And you're like, but I don't want to. Fuck you, you're gonna. You are gonna change this monstrosity of a world, because that's your responsibility as a soul. That's why the sword is offered to you. Don't you tell me no. 10 of Swords, yeah. You're afraid that, the relationship you have now will be gone because you'll be so famous, or that people will just use you for money. Yeah, you'll get over it, because the one that's really meant for you isn't going to care that you have 10 swords in your back. They'll pluck them out, stitch you up, and then do you on the other side, because they love you that much. I don't care what excuse you have. The one that's meant for you is meant for you. No matter how much you run and hide, they're meant for you. And this job changes the world, and it might have to do with how babies are made, actually. The legacy, the babies, the generations, health. Maybe you thought of a contraceptive, something to kill the sperm so people don't worry about their day after pill anymore. Maybe it's a new form of, hormones you're creating to change male to female and female to male. Maybe it's advancements in the field of transgender, going from an old man to a young woman, and anti-aging processes. Maybe it's, God, this could be so many things. But you're so afraid of the worst that could happen, that the worst that could happen is you not bringing this into the world. Get it? I know I keep saying it, but I really want you to get this. You're supposed to bring peace to this world. Really. Because this means that the conflict is over, that two people have chosen each other and they're together in the innocence of nature itself. What you're doing is humanitarian work for the entire collective human species. And I know it's a big burden and it's completely overwhelming, but to you, it'll feel like your grandparents baking you brownies. Because it is completely tied to and directly connected to your family. That's the key, your family. This is a really, whoever you are listening to this, from one person to another, like in the 3D or 4D, 5D, wherever we are, in this whole universal cosmic pool of whatever, of life, I'm really asking you from a very, a part of me that, from all of me that sees this as a as a movie playing out in my being. And I'm asking you sincerely, have the courage to bring your heart, your story, and your legacy into this world. Because so many people will be healed by it, and so much of nature will be restored. You will be planting so many trees that will evolve into this massive Garden of Eden, which will spring a new Adam and Eve and a new way for humans to be. Because you put an end to all the anxiety and fear, which is usually based on the human body. I mean, these people are butt crack naked, they don't care. These people are barely in robes and clothes. Something is invented that makes the human body perfect without anything on it other than basic requirements. It's almost like disease and illness is completely wiped out based on this family lineage. Maybe it's something in your blood. Maybe you have blood that's like immune to certain pathogens. So if you like work with some scientist somewhere who's totally in their head and they're like doing genetics, you can change some new way that medicines are made, and then every human being in the world is immediately healed. All wishes are granted because the wishes that the world, the collective has, are for health and wealth and love. And this family has the keys to turn this wheel into this new beginning, whoever this soul group is. And the color blue is really prominent in all of this. Yeah, and no matter what happens, the worst that could happen, the worst thing is you not doing this thing. If you do it and everything that happens, whether it's worst or better, it'll never be as bad as you never doing this. Did you ever watch the X-Men animated series? There's an episode, a few episodes called I think The Importance of One Man, or One Man's Worth, where Bishop has to go back into the past to save Charles Xavier because somebody else goes into the past to kill him. And without Charles Xavier, the world becomes a complete apocalyptic world where mutants are completely hated and hunted down, and robots and sentinels have taken over, and they're completely turning on humans too, and it's just disgusting. Because that one person wasn't there to talk, there to say their story, to share their opinions and their heartfelt, open-hearted treasure. They weren't there, which didn't change one person's mind, and then that person instigated fear in another person that caused separation in a relationship, which turned a whole bunch of things around, like one ripple going in the water that changes the entire pool. And it's all due to this material thing, this career, this job, this thing that is more than just a job. It's almost like you could even make a deck of tarot cards, and these tarot cards would be used more than the Rider-Waite tarot. because it changes everything. It changes the entire story. It's imagine seeing a rainbow and then the rainbow suddenly has one more spectrum of color. You're like, that should have been there the entire time. Why wasn't that rainbow color there? Why was this rainbow missing the color blue? And now the color blue is coming back. And then things will make a lot more sense. But for now, you have to have the courage. Look back to what your grandparents did. Only you know this answer. I can't see this answer for you. To me, it's locked in this chest. I can only see the possibilities of what's happening after these decisions are made and the entire fractal that all the decisions go into. It's a lot, and each and every single one of them ends up in the same point. Do you heal the world? Or do you become the reason why the world was never healed? Even if it's just a piece of paper you're thinking of inventing, or a notebook, like a constellation diary or something, or a shampoo, or coffee creamer. You have no idea the amount of connected dots between having healthy coffee cream and the millions of people who drink coffee that would be drinking coffee with actually healthy coffee cream that doesn't have sugar and crap in it. And then all those people would feel a lot better in their bodies, which would move forward the entire human spectrum, because you would have a planet of slightly healthier people. It's like taking one step after another throughout all the problems, right down to genes. I mean, how uncomfortable and, damaging to the body are some jeans and clothes. They're so constricting, like bras. They're really uncomfortable. Or like there's kitchen utensils. I mean, you can invent so many different ways to make better kitchen utensils, or how to make them more, like, to need less of them, like we don't need a million different soup ladles. We need one that does all of it in one form. And how much less stress would it be for the people making food if they had like 10 instruments to use and they were all perfect for 1,000 different jobs, instead of having an entire messy kitchen every time they make dinner? It's little things like this, simple little day-to-day things that change your life over the course of a lifetime. So much so that it's been changed over the course of 4 generations of people in one lifetime, in one family. And the strange thing I'm noticing here is none of these people leave footprints. None of them. There is not a single footprint anywhere, not even her in the sand. These two are completely cuddled into the waters and the woods over here without even messing with the leaves. The leaves are hugging them. The only one causing any form of trouble is this one with the fear and anxiety. Man, this person's all up in their emotions. Look at all that blue. But it's not even like moving blue. It's stuck, stagnant, heavy, dense, deep down ocean blue. And to look up would mean you see the swords in the way. So he can't even look up because the thoughts of what could go wrong are right there. Like, no. Sure, it all went wrong. Boo, bye. Now what? Now you have the opportunity to change the world. Are you going to do it? Please do it. Please. Pretty please, because this is nothing. This is nothing. The world that you don't see that comes from you not taking this career path is so much worse than you being humiliated, or you being, offended, or you losing some money. No, just go do it. Take the first step. Look, this is the sun. Six of Wands. The Sun and the Six of Wands. You're going to succeed and change the world with this. The High Priestess. See? You know that I know this. You know that I know that what you do will succeed. So don't just sit there with that cup in your hand. Go change the world. Offer that cup to someone. Get that idea out. Broadcast it. Put it on YouTube. Channel it into the world. Bring it to people. New beginnings, moving forward, leaving behind the old way of yourself, getting out of your head, helping poor people not be poor anymore. Man. May you have such grand success that the world will always remember you so fondly and kindly and generously and gracefully. Because you can change the way they see the sky. Maybe you clean up the environment. I can't right now with these cards. I wish you the best for you in your journey. Take the risk. Whatever you're doing will work out for you, okay? Just be kind, be honest, and do it for the benefit of everybody without harming anybody. Don't justify harm for anything. Don't be one of those, you know who's, that justify doing harm to, 1,000 people because it benefits 1,000,000 people. Like, no, this isn't about that. Everybody's going to benefit from this, including the quote-unquote bad guys, which will in turn become more good guys after this thing. It's like a a filter that filters out evil out of people simply by, better tasting coffee or a donut or something. I don't know, but I wish you the best.